So let's move now to Cape Town and day 2 of the special edition Sustainable Infrastructure Development Symposium in the mother city. The summit focusing exclusively on green hydrogen. Among the biggest aims is to benefit South Africa and Africa as a whole. Over 700 local and international delegates are attending. South Africa, one of the founding members of the Africa Green Hydrogen Alliance. It seeks to promote continental clean energy cooperation. eNCA senior reporter Ayesha Ismail joins us for an update. So, Ayesha, you've been at this Green Hydrogen Summit. The President spoke at the summit. How are we, as South Africans, going to benefit from green hydrogen?
Well, Sally, I must say, having attended the summit today, I was quite encouraged to see the positive energy in that auditorium today. And of course, President Cyril Ramaphosa speaking so confidently and passionately about the role that South Africa can play, and also adding that South Africa can be a lead player in the green hydrogen space and in the green hydrogen arena, and also in the value chain. He talked about job creation. He talked about investment. Also, other people who spoke, other delegates who spoke, also talked about the fact that we need to upskill young people to take their place in participating in green hydrogen. And we also heard from the Premier of the Western Cape about a partnership between the Western Cape and the Northern Cape. They're planning to build this green hydrogen corridor, which will not only benefit the two provinces, but also its neighbours. But this is what the President had to say at the summit earlier today.
This presents a very unique opportunity for South Africa, and may I add for our continent as well, to link its mineral endowment with its renewable energy endowment to drive industrialization. And as we often say, this is Africa's century. And indeed, these wonderful opportunities are opening up not only for South Africa, for Namibia, and for a number of other countries on our continent. At the same time, this will create jobs, attract investment, bring development to rural provinces and a number of other countries on our continent, and support a just transition from fossil fuels. This summit is therefore an opportunity to tell the South African story in this rapidly growing sector. South Africa is not new to the green hydrogen conversation.
I mean, this is such a timeless issue, bearing in mind what we've heard from COP27, the climate change conference, that we as a globe are running out of time to clean up our energy. And the President making the point that with the rich mineral deposits in Africa, we're perfectly poised to take advantage of green hydrogen. Would you say this has been the main takeaway of this two-day summit in Cape Town?
Indeed, Sally, and of course, the President talks about the South African story, and, just judging from the conversations that took place at the summit today, South Africa certainly has a good story to tell. And I did have an opportunity to speak to some of the South African companies who were exhibiting there today, and I spoke to Tumi Khomo from the company EPCM, and he was talking about the role that South Africa can play. This is what he had to say.
Green hydrogen it's water that's split using green energy, either your wind power or your solar, to create this. But the significant importance is that hydrogen itself has a high energy power in it, or composition, and therefore that's what makes it lucrative. But it's also used for a number of chemical processes, and I think this is where South Africans start to benefit, where we use it for cooling, we use it for a variety of green fuels, potentially a 0 ppm fuel, and it's also a fertilizer. So ammonia is actually a step away from urea, which is a significant fertilizer for South Africa. We are now in a position, if we continue down this line, to actually produce our own fuel on our footprint and really start to do away with purchasing fuel that is dollar-based. And the important bit is that, for example, ammonia is can be an augmentation for diesel, and also it's a cheapest way to carry hydrogen across the continent. So we can also trade the hydrogen, because on its own it's actually very difficult to. But now you're trading a commodity that is also a fuel base. So in the Second World War, ammonia was used as a fuel base for the tanks. So that's an interesting value proposition.
I mean, so many positive sentiments and hopeful plans emerging. Let's hope we see action and clear timeframes on this very new technology. Thank you so much. That, of course, is Ayesha Ismail in Cape Town.